I am Noriko Bull, and this is Uncut News. This morning, 26-year-old Crystal Chung was killed when a fire destroyed her family's home at Little Diamond on the East Bank. Eyewitnesses say they heard the young woman's screams for help, but she was trapped in her bedroom. The flames were too intense to reach her. Chung's parents, her younger brother and sister escaped with only minor burns. The police are now claiming that they have tortured 3 poor suckers into confessing to the murders of the Henry boys and Harish Singh. Supposedly, the Major Crimes Unit had been grilling 3 suspects who were arrested for possession of firearms, and I assume that grilling involved slamming their willies in a chest drawer until they started talking. In the wake of the confession, charges are likely to be laid soon against those suspects. I don't know, call me a pessimist, but I doubt they've really caught the right men. But hey, what do I know? In the wake of a recent multi-million-dollar robbery in Port Kaituma, the JDF admitted that the Venezuelan Sindicato gang still poses a serious threat to the hinterland residents. The gang has a long history of attacks on Guyanese and border locations, and Brigadier General Godfrey Best believes the worsening economic situation in Venezuela is only making the threat worse, as everyone, including the gangs, become increasingly desperate for money. Because of this, and Maduro's recent declaration, Best says the JDF will be more vigilant in patrolling the nation's borders. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's car of the day. Currently on sale is this 2012 Toyota Allion. It comes with TV, navigation stereo, crystal light, mag rims, fog lamps, and much, much more. Pay cash for $3.1 million, or pay down as low as $620,000 with around $60,000 monthly, and it's yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info, or visit their showrooms at Lot 171 Peter Row Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamar Street, and tell them Noriko sent you for this sweet deal. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has hired an American lobbying firm to target the U.S. Congress, other government agencies, and financial institutions. The government is paying the Washington, D.C.-based Cormac Group LLC $25,000 per month and a reimbursable out-of-pocket expense of up to $4,500 per month. The new contract with Guyana describes Otto Reich Associates as a joint venture firm with the Cormac Group. The contract is for 6 months, expiring on June 28, 2021. Now here's where things start to get a little interesting. The 2 firms teamed up during last year's elections to lobby for the International Center for Democracy, a New York front organization for the PPP. Mercury Public Affairs also lobbied for the PPP until last July. Now, Noriko did a little research on this Otto Reich guy, and it turns out that he has been described as a controversial right-wing figure who was the American ambassador to Venezuela from 1986 to 1989. Reich was nominated by George W. Bush to be Assistant Secretary of State for Western Hemisphere Affairs in 2001. The Senate did not allow confirmation hearings, citing Reich's role in the Iran-Contra affair and his advocacy as ambassador for Orlando Bosch, then imprisoned in Venezuela on suspicion of bombing Cubana de Aviacion Flight 455. Yes, the same bombing that killed 11 Guyanese in 1976. Yes, that's the type of person the PPP is working with. But that's enough history on him. The big takeaway from this is that after spending all that money lobbying the Trump administration, the PPP now feels it needs to spend taxpayer money to pay a new firm to help them lobby Biden. Yesterday morning, 20-year-old Zebulon Cadogan was hospitalized in a serious condition following an accident with a pickup truck on the Good Fortune Public Road. The driver of the pickup truck told police that Cadogan was riding a motorcycle behind his truck when the driver decided to make a right turn. Cadogan then slammed right into the side of the truck, which then sent him into a nearby drain. The driver is currently in police custody. The naval operations against illegal fishing hasn't caught any errant fishermen yet, but the Trump attorneys have already made a drug bust on the high seas. The USCGC Stone intercepted a vessel south of the Dominican Republic while en route to Guyana. Another ship, the USCGC Raymond Evans, subsequently arrived on the scene to assist in the bust. They located several bales of Peruvian nose powder, estimated at 2,148.5 pounds. Who said luxury can't be affordable? Move into your own home in 2021. Lenore Estate, West Coast Emirara properties are within your reach. Move out of the landlord's place and put that rent money towards your own 5,000 square foot property. Call the WhatsApp 592-618-5701 or call +1 516 476 2172 for more info. If you're planning a trip to London soon, get a refund. Following the discovery of the new strain of the Rona in Brazil, the United Kingdom has extended its travel ban to all non-British residents who have traveled from or through Argentina, Brazil, Bolivia, Cape Verde, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, French Guiana, us, Panama, Paraguay, Peru, Suriname, Uruguay, and Venezuela in the last 10 days. Basically all of South America and even Portugal had been included given its strong travel links with Brazil. But there would be an exemption for haulers traveling from the country to allow the transportation of essential goods. Yes, because essential goods clearly won't carry COVID. Speaking of the Rona, it's now time for today's Rona report. Today the nation recorded 45 new cases. The total number of deaths now stands at 170. There are now 4 persons in the ICU and 449 persons in home isolation. The total number of known cases in the country is now 6,745. So, please people, wash your hands frequently. Avoid touching your nose and mouth and mask up before you leave the house. When you do leave home, try to avoid enclosed spaces and large crowds. And remember to give 6 feet of space between you and others. Now, let's take a look at news in the region. Oil companies Total and Apache Corp have made their 4th major offshore oil and gas find in recent years off the coast of Suriname. The discovery was made at the Keskesi East 1 well in Block 58. This follows previous discoveries at Maka Central, Sapakara West, and Kwaskwasi. The well was drilled at a water depth of about 725 meters and encountered a total of 63 meters net pay of hydrocarbons, comprised of about 58 meters net black oil, volatile oil, and gas pay in good quality reservoirs. Great news for those of you who are still looking for an affordable smartphone. The sale has been extended. Get the Logic L60 for just $20,000. It comes with 1-year warranty and free Digital Prime bundle. Available at Cellular Plus in the City Mall, Starbucks Square, and Sunday opening at Massey Providence and Massey Turkine. Don't miss out! CARICOM has denounced the Trump administration's designation of Cuba as a state sponsor of terrorism. CARICOM said Cuba's international conduct does not in any way warrant that designation. CARICOM accused the outgoing Trump administration of further attacking Cuba, which will affect the nation's international standing and its social, human, and economic development. CARICOM has now issued a call for the immediate review and reversal of the unjustified actions taken in regard to Cuba. Pompeo announced the decision last week. The move caught many in the international community off guard, finding it to be unnecessary and unwarranted. Cuba sends doctors around the world, while the US drones people to death, and they call Cuba the state sponsor of terrorism. How ridiculous. And now for our weird news story of the day. A young cow in Austria that was able to escape from a slaughterhouse has been given a new lease on life. The cow, named Leine, is being allowed to live on an animal farm located near Salzburg, Austria. Animal charity called Aldebilk located Leine and rescued her after receiving a phone call from a thoroughly confused eyewitness. The charity then paid the original owner of the cow for any lost wages and took Leine to its animal farm. Aw, how sweet. It almost makes Noriko want to become a vegetarian. Almost. Too many terrible drivers on the road. Don't be one of them. Book a beginner's driver's course with fast learners. Forget asking your relatives to teach you. They will haul upon you like you's a dog. Fast learners are professional and makes it easy for you to learn with less anxiety. Call them now on telephone number 690-6868 or follow them on Facebook at Fast Learners Driving School. Moving on to our Uncut News Viewers Poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Guyana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. So, you give your responses in the comments, and we just might read the best ones in the following episode. Yesterday's question was, should we rethink a lockdown on the nation, or do the costs outweigh the benefits? Nicholas Bosdio said, yes, it would be smart if we scale down some operations for a month for everyone's safety, before we have to deal with another variant of the virus, which could be catastrophic to our economy and health. Jay Jairam said Guyana did not have a true lockdown, for an example, like New York or London. The nation should consider a lockdown because the Rona cases are not going down, and who knows when it will. 10-4 says the Guyanese government surely needs to reconsider the reopening of the economy. A full lockdown will only be beneficial to the people of high society. In order for a full lockdown to be effective, more than a one-time $25,000 will be needed to be given to the working class and the very poor people. Do you think that Trump's decision to call Cuba a state sponsor of terrorism was a fair one? Think about that question and tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in Friday's episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight. Check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Enrico Bulford saying good night, folks. Hey, Uncut News viewers, thanks for watching. You can subscribe by clicking on this button over here, or click over there for more news. You can also drop a comment to let me know if you've made it to the end of the video. Goodbye for now.